Hi, this is Depressaholic, and in my last video I was saying we should all be lovely to each other and not just troll YouTube looking for people to criticise. Yeah, turns out I'm a big fat liar. I also told Widgetas I didn't want this just to be an atheist channel and make atheist videos. That might be a little bit of a lie as well. But I saw something that bothered me a little bit on YouTube, and so I thought I'd make a response. So, sorry for the small amount of hypocrisy, but I hope no one feels that I should be
stoned to death.
Hello, Gear Up. I just want to comment on something really that Gear Up said. It was in his video that was a response to Venom Fang X's sort of resignation from YouTube. I just want to say I'm not discussing any of that here. It's hopefully all done and dusted and really none of my business. But I wanted to just comment on something Gear Up said, or actually something Gear Up didn't say. I want to comment on a pause in his video as much as anything. This pause.
You're a man of the Bible.
Did you hear it? I'll just play it again once.
You're a man of the Bible.
There was just a tiny little pause before the word Bible. Now you might wonder what the big deal is about that. But what he was doing in this video, he was talking about forgiveness in relation to Venom Fang X, and he did it by using a story from the New Testament, which he presented as a dialogue between a character who was involved in punishing a woman for prostitution and Jesus. So I'll play you the whole story as he tells it.
They said, "What do you say, Jesus? Because Moses and the law declares that such should be stoned." You see, in the Old Testament, it says that anyone caught in the very act of adultery, and anyone doing these kind of activities should be stoned to death. You're a man of the Bible. What are you going to do?
Ignoring the fact that the dialogue appears to have come from Goodfellas at the end, and just how scary angry he gets when he says the word death. What I wanted to comment on is a character from the New Testament commenting on the Old Testament and telling Jesus that he was a man of the Bible, because he wasn't. He was a man of the Torah. He's in the Bible. It's quite a lot about him, but there wasn't a Bible. It's like a character in Lord of the Rings popping into scene and telling Frodo how much he enjoyed his book. You know that thing you were saying about the Old Testament? We've just got the one, haven't we? Yeah, that was a bit weird. Not sure where that came from. I mean, if you meant, because it is quite old, the Testament, the one Testament, we have bits of it, are quite old. Is that what you meant? It felt like a bit more than that to me. Right. Because is there a new one that we don't know about? No, it's still just the one. Maybe I read somewhere they're making a sequel. Now there is a reason why this bothers me. Jesus was Jewish. He would have worn a yarmulke. He would have had ringlets in his hair. And when he was discussing theology in the temple, it would have been from the Torah, not the Bible. Now I'm not accusing anyone of anti-Semitism. What I am accusing Christians of, historically, is of misappropriating the identity of Jesus. I think throughout history, despite claims that the Bible says man was made in God's image, I think it's fairly clear that Jesus has consistently been made in the image of whatever man was writing about him at a particular time. There are lots of images of Jesus looking terribly Nordic with ginger hair and pale skin. Honestly, if he was a little bit more overweight and had a bit more body hair, I may have to reconsider my position on Christianity, because we're clearly related. But anyway, there are lots of potential identities for Jesus. The Christian idea that he's the Son of God. There's the historical idea that he was a Jewish revolutionary leading his people out from under Roman oppression. There was the idea that he was a sort of proto-socialist who was looking to break the stranglehold of the Jewish religious orthodoxy on the Jewish people. And then the Muslim idea that he was a prophet. It was very important, but not divine in the same way the Christians see him. And they all have some legitimacy to them, and they all have some evidence, and you can pick and choose which one makes most sense to you, and that's fine. I'm not telling anyone who Jesus was or who they should believe Jesus was, but it annoys me when it becomes a straight lie, and it makes me suspicious of the motives of people that do that. Because what it is, in my opinion, it's an attempt to sort of retrospectively create the society that Jesus lived in. Because I think they don't like the idea of where he came from and what that means about who he was. And Christianity has, in my opinion, been very guilty of this over the years. I started off by talking about Gierach's little pause. Perhaps I'm being very unfair to him, but I think he knew before he said the word Bible that he was going to tell a little fib about who Jesus was. That he was going to misrepresent the reality of Jesus and replace it with his idea of what a Christian Jesus should look like. And it just makes me very suspicious about why someone would feel the need to do that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I've been Depressaholic, and I'll see you later.
Stoned to death.